Competitive sports games have been around for decades, since the birth of modern video games in fact. But it was only recently in 2015 that an absurd concept became the new norm. Now Ubisoft is looking to capitalize on Rocket League's success with their own wild take on the sports genre with their game, Roller Champion. My name is Codiak, and today we get hands-on with the pre-alpha demo and look into the future and the potential success of this fast-paced game. Right off the bat, if you haven't been following E3 2019, let me get you up to speed. Roller Champion is an upcoming title where two teams of three will face off in a roller derby arena. Players will fight to gain control of a ball and look to hold on to that ball as they complete up to 3 laps around the area. After one complete lap, a goal will illuminate and players will have the option to throw the ball into the goal for points. Throwing the ball into the goal after 1 lap will give you 1 point, 2 laps will give you 3 points, and 3 laps will give you 5 points. While you're skating around, the opposing team will be looking to check you, knocking the ball out of your possession. The first team to 5 points, or whoever's in the lead after the first 10 minutes run out, is the winner. Now this is a pre-alpha demo, so I want to get out in front and say that this game is going to go through a number of transformations before launch, but I have to admit they've got a really strong foundation for a fun game. After a short tutorial, I felt like I was ready for action, and while the physics did take a minute to wrap my head around, the controls are pretty straightforward and the concept stupidly simple. It's hard not to compare this game to Rocket League on so many levels, but the truth is, that game set the bar so high for sports games, especially when it comes to controls and physics. Skating around the arena feels like gliding on glass, especially if you figure out how to draft and use the walls to pick up speed. Where I was a little frustrated was the turning. A skater moving forward shouldn't be able to turn on a dime. That'd be pretty ridiculous, but at times, I found my skater to be unresponsive to my controls. Part of the larger strategy of the game is to skate in the opposite direction of the opposing team to meet them at a choke point, but if you're struggling to turn around because of the controls, you end up missing your opportunity for a check. With games being so short, this can be a big deal, and with players already mastering the core mechanics, it can feel like you're at a disadvantage beyond your control. Outside of turning, I found the checking mechanic in dire need of some refinement. In Roller Champion, you're in complete control of the ball. It's not something that lingers out in front of you like Rocket League. It's part of your character, so your actions are directly connected to the fate of the object. At this point, checking has some sort of weird momentum boost that players can use repeatedly to propel themselves forward. It's bizarre to watch people constantly use this technique to close the gap between them and an opposing player, and ultimately, it ends up being a button mashing session at the end of the arena as two teams frantically try and smash into each other. My problem with the mechanic is that it's not entirely skills-based. Yes, you can choose the general direction of the hit, but it largely equates to throwing yourself at the player and hoping something sticks. If you're carrying the ball, you do have the option to dodge, and here again, we have a wildly unrealistic mechanic. If you can't stop and turn on a dime, there's no way you should be able to dodge on a dime, and while it does slow down your momentum, the dodge range and unpredictability of the move is quite absurd. Nonetheless, there are some tactics players can employ to escape the opposing team, like passing and using the walls to gain momentum, and both can feel pretty good. Sometimes the pass will go awry, which is kind of odd considering it's a simple call and response style system, but it didn't bother me all too much. In terms of scoring goals, I found the throwing system to be pretty easy to pull off, but the reticle was incredibly hard to see. Depending on the level, the background would obscure the white arc that forecasted your throw. A simple fix would be to darken the background when a player is in throw mode so they can clearly see the projected path. Ultimately, I found myself playing a good many games in a short amount of time, even making some big plays myself. And while I didn't get that giddy rush of ridiculousness that came during my Rocket League experiences, when I wasn't bashing the controls, I was having a good time. Again, this is a pre-alpha demo and lots will change in the near future, but this game is definitely one you'll want to keep an eye on. If you like this video and want to learn more about Roller Champion, be sure to drop us a like and subscribe for more content in your feed. And remember, you can always join the Game Gurus on Discord if you want to keep the conversation going after the video is over. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on.